That's working fine. No, that's not right. Hold on. There we go. Snafu. That's funny. Another person. Look. I'm gonna shadow just a tiny bit while I watch people get logged in, where I can noting that I can. Yeah, another one. So good morning. My name is Judge Person. I do welcome everybody to court this morning. I want to ask you to keep your mute on mute until it's your turn. And I want to go over just some of the ground rules and give people information that I think is helpful. The first one that's going to be helpful for me is if you can put your name on your square, okay? The way that you do that is if you will look at your square. Now, if you've already done this, just leave it the way it is. But I have about 6 people now named Zoom user, and I don't have a Zoom user file, right? And you run the risk of me thinking that you weren't in court today if I can't figure out who you are. And it's going to take me a lot more time this morning to pull files if I don't have your name until, and I also don't know the order that people logged in when it's Zoom user. So just really, it's a courtroom, and in a courtroom, you identify yourself. So some folks just don't know how to do that. And we were just talking about how we probably need to put that in the instructions. The way that you do that, if you'll go to your own picture, okay, and land your hand on your own picture, the little hand that is your cursor, the cursor hand. Take that arrow, and it turns into a hand when you put it on your own picture. And then you'll see a button at the top that says mute, and you'll see a button at the top that says ... And with the ... if you will click on that dot, then you drop down and it says rename. And when you rename, you can rename yourself. Don't name yourself something fun that you've always wanted to be named. Just use your legal name so that I can start figuring out who's here and make sure that I've identified people, logged them in. And here in a moment, I'll give y'all time to do that while I chatter a little bit at things that might be helpful. I already see folks have successfully done that in most cases. If you have, also if you're named iPhone, and if you can't do it, that's okay. Some people don't have the technology that allows them to do it, and that's okay. We'll work with you, but it's better if I have to work with 1 or 2 people as opposed to 9. Okay, so if you're able to make that change, fantastic. Let's see. And then there are a couple of people who I don't know the name because it's just not a name that I'm finding. Let's see. And I'm looking. Still is Miller. Let's see you there. Jones. Jones, what did you get earlier? Great. And if you have a phone, you might not be able to change your name. That's okay. I'm going to quiz you in a minute and see if I can figure out your name. But I have someone who wrote me from their phone. I don't know how they wrote me with their phone, but cool. In a chat. And Ms. Simmons, thank you. I got your message. Stephanie Alvera Simmons, I got your message. So no worries. Now I can keep up with you. And although that's Zoom user, okay, that's fine too. I am trying to figure out. The problem is if you say I'm Zoom user, okay, let me just ask. I just asked you to unmute. I believe it might be. And ma'am, you have kind of, yes, ma'am. Could you tell me your name, please?
Marla Whitfield.
Thank you, Ms. Whitfield. I'm going to change it on my screen so that I don't lose track of you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sometimes they revert back, which stinks, but it's not your fault if that happens. And then I have, let's see, young lady with the glasses, brown hair. I've just asked you to unmute. Could you give me your name, please?
Michael White. I'm sorry, Michael White.
Okay, thank you. That's all right. A lot of that going around. And I'm glad to get the proper saying of your name. I might have called you Mika, so thank you very much. And nice lady with the glasses, hoop earrings. You have your hand up. Just let me know your name.
Angela Finley.
Finley. Finley. Hi, thank you, Miss Finley.
Thank you.
I'll rename you on my screen so that I can, hopefully it'll stick and I won't have to ask you again. Great, so far no surprises. And I believe, gentlemen, kind of look in your lips, you're going to be Mr. Miguel Arciniega, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hold on, I got his name. Oops. And Mr. Lucito, I'm not finding you on my list. Could you tell me your name, please? You're labeled Lucito.
Oh, sorry. It's Octavio Lopez.
Mr. Lopez.
Yeah, it's just it's my brother's computer.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I'm not going to hurt his computer at all when I do this, but for purposes of this meeting, you're going to be named Octavio Lopez. So thank you. And then young lady with the kind of flower top on, if you'd unmute, tell me your name, please.
Stephanie Alvarez or Simmons, I chatted you.
Yes, I did. You did, but it doesn't tell me which Zoom user picture.
Oh.
It's good effort, and it was good, but I had to get it nailed down. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I have one phone number right now ending in 761, and on that phone number, could you tell me your name, please?
Erica Corona.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Corona.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that ought to help a lot this morning. Okay, so I want to let you know a few things. When you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That's what a ticket is. It's an accusation when you get that ticket. And when you enter a plea, you're giving your answer or response to that accusation. There are three options for pleading. They are guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Now, the law presumes we're not guilty. If you enter a plea of guilty or no contest, that changes that assumption. Okay, and let me just talk to you about what those pleas mean and where they take you. And that way you'll know, where you're heading with the plea that you enter, but also it will help you make an informed decision, and along the way, what options are available for dismissal. I do assume that most people would like to save money, and I do assume that most people are interested in their record, and probably it's in that order. But if I'm pushing you to do something to get a dismissal and you don't want to take the steps I'm talking about, that's okay. Just let me know. So what I want to tell you is that if you plead guilty, you're admitting the offense, okay? No contest means I'm not admitting or denying it. I just want to move forward with sentencing. And then if you plead not guilty, you're contesting the charge. You're asking the state to prove the case against you. You're ultimately then asking for a trial, okay? We are holding trials at the court. If you ask for a trial, if you plead not guilty, there's two meetings that are scheduled. One is a Zoom meeting, that is meeting today, and one is an in-court meeting, and that meets if the case is not resolved today, okay? those should have both been scheduled. If you've already pled not guilty, we should have those already scheduled for you. And I'll just be walking you through that a little bit. There's a breakout room that we're about to begin. And in the breakout room, Ms. Warren, you'll see her screen, her block name on the screen. She's going to give a quick wave, let everybody know she's here. Thank you so much, Ms. Warren. What I do there is open that breakout room for that meeting, and y'all meet and have a discussion. And then we come back into the room and visit a little bit further. So I'll do that in just a moment for those who are already scheduled. On that docket, I have already counted William McDonald, Catherine Miller, Sheila Jones, Miguel Arciniega, and Octavia Lopez. I also have Tracy Lawson and Bryce Hanson as missing. If you're here and you are either of those two people, Tracy Lawson, Bryce Hanson, let me know that you're here because you're about to be counted missing from court. The consequence of missing court, missing a deadline, missing a payment, missing a turn-in of a class or hours, that is the same as missing court. You can be held in contempt and it's another charge. So you don't want to do that. I don't hear any takers on those names. On my docket, I have already here, Angela Finley. I have, let's see, Michael Cook. I have Jonathan Waite. I have Yvette Romero. I have Grant Schilling. I have Diego Caballero, however you'd like to say it. Trajasia Watkins, I probably butchered that one, sorry. Stephanie Alvarez. I have Marla Whitfield. I have Micah White, and Angela Finley. I have you already clocked in. Let's see. And so those folks I have already in. Oh, and Robert Browder I have logged in. And then I have missing Erica Corona and Victor Perez. So Erica Corona, Victor Perez, are you here? Which one? Erica Corona's on the phone. Thank you. Very good, counsel. Thank you. I've got staff in the courtroom with me. So Erica Corona's here. We already identified her. Just forgot to mark her off, moving too fast. Victor Perez, are you here? Okay. So counting Victor Perez absent. All right. I'll move forward with that accordingly. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is if you pled guilty or no contest, you still have 4 dismissal options. They are compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. The first one, compliance dismissals. Those are things that can be dismissed by bringing them up to date. You must be on time to court. You must have remedied the situation, and it must be eligible for that treatment under Texas law. I will walk you through those, okay? Those are things like registration sometimes, a bald tire, a light bulb that was out, a blinker that was broken, that kind of thing. But you don't have to know the magic language on that. You don't have to know a magical thing to say to trigger me to do that for you. I'm just going to do that for you. And you let me know if you don't want to fix it or deal with it, okay? Because you can always, just pay. Second, but that one will save you the most money. So I start there, okay? If you don't qualify for that one, the second one is if you have a moving violation under Texas law. When you have a moving violation under Texas law, you can take a driver safety course and gain a dismissal. You have to be on time. You can't be a CDL holder. You have to have a Texas license or else be military or dependent that is both active status, okay? I'll walk you through that. That is still a savings. Every ticket has a court cost and a fine. When I give you a number, I give you the whole number, but that represents a state court cost and a local fine. And in the driver safety course option, you do have to pay the court cost. The fine will go on hold. And if you turn in your class and your record, your ticket is dismissed. You don't get points on your record, and the fine gets waived if you do the program right. So you have to qualify and finish it to get the benefit. But you save money, you save a lot of things. But you have to do the class and you have to get the record, and they have to be the right class, they have to be the right record. So if you get into that program, pay careful attention because those deadlines are strict and the requirements are strict. And we do put it all in writing for you, okay? All right, the next thing is if you want a deferred disposition to gain a dismissal. I find that third option works best where the other two aren't working. A deferred disposition is just that. Deferred means delay. Disposition means to make final. I delay making your case final, and I move you toward that deferred disposition. You have like a probation period. It's not legally, it's not probation, but it kind of looks like it because you have good behavior, no warrants, don't fail to come to court. Sometimes there's a class. Sometimes there's some time you have to do doing something in the community. And we do have to sort out payment of fines and costs. With the deferred disposition, you get a dismissal at the end of that period of time. And we put it in writing because it's literally just a contract between yourself and the court. There is something to know. There's a trick to this one. Okay, so I'm going to listen up because I'm going to tell you the trick. And then you'll know more than even some attorneys in the state. And that is that you can get a deferred disposition in a Class C court directly from the judge. And you might ask yourself, how would I do that? What does that look like? And the answer is you just say, guilty or no contest, but I'd like a deferred. It's that simple. And then the judge can say yes or no. Now, Ms. Warren is representing the state, and if you're talking to her, you can ask her for a deferred as well. Nothing about that changes the fact that you can ask the prosecutor for a deferred as well, and she has to agree to get it off the contested docket on that front. And then y'all bring that request to me at that point together. Okay, so a deferred can be requested of both the prosecutor and the judge in a Class C court. When you get to Class B courts and felony courts, Class A courts and felony courts, you have to ask the prosecutor first, always, okay? So just be aware of that, all right? Now, so just make that request because I'm supposed to assume that if you don't ask for a deferred, you don't want a deferred. And I was supposed to assume that before you got here today. And if I asked a room full of people if they've ever heard of a deferred, it's usually less than a third of people that have heard of it. So my way to handle that is just to explain and tell you, okay? I hope y'all are hearing me. Is anyone having trouble hearing me like steadily? I know if I turn, there's some problems and we're working on those microphones, but I'm hoping I'm not just getting a wash. People sometimes are, oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, great. So the next thing or the last one, the fourth one is teen court. And Temple has a teen court. And if you are in high school, middle school, homeschool, if you're heading to your diploma actively, then we can look at teen court. And there, that is really young people taking responsibility for themselves, okay? And their parent needs to help and support them do it, but it's less expensive for the family. And more of what has to happen is the person, the young person, has to do things to earn their dismissal, okay? And we do that because, primarily because I'm a logical person and it works. So, and the way I define it works is, I don't see you again, right? And so to me, if I don't see you again in the traffic context, I don't hear about you getting hurt or killed or killing someone else, having an accident, okay, in traffic. And then in the criminal context of cases like thefts and assaults and things like that with teen court, I don't see you again because you don't reoffend. And we open up your options for your future, especially with thefts and things like that. Those are life altering. And you can literally lose options. When you're 14 and you steal a bubble gum at a store and you get a theft charge, you can't ever be a nurse. You change your life in a quick move. And the law recognizes that your brain isn't fully formed until you're 25. And so maybe we need to take it into account in sentencing. And teen court lets us do that. So if you're a teen, I'll be pushing teen court on you. And if your family doesn't want it, I had this happen last week, they can just pay your ticket for you. But I'm probably going to see you again. Odds are, statistically speaking, okay, less than 20% re-offend if they complete teen court. But if they don't, 80%. So play the numbers in your favor if you want teen court. It's a good thing. So those are the 4 ways to gain a dismissal in a Class C court, okay? I don't have hidden secret options that I use just for friends. In fact, if you're my friend, if I know you and we're social or your family, I have to get another judge. I can't actually sign your orders. So I like to put it all out on the table. Everybody has the same deck of cards because most of us are going to represent ourselves in a Class C court. And I just want everybody armed with the same information, okay? And make it just a little bit more less confusing for us because anyone can get a ticket. Even my mother, she got one in her lifetime. She drove since she was 14. She's 89. And I have a funny story I'll tell you. She told me it was because I distracted her with the radio that I had installed in her car. And I said, Mother, that is a wonderful excuse. If you qualified for teen court, I would give it to you. So, but no, I had to get someone else. So anyway, all the joking aside, let me start with Ms. Warren. We're going to go ahead and begin the pretrial docket. William McDonald is first on that docket. And so, Mr. McDonald, you can be the guinea pig, but we've done this before. And what we're going to do is send you an invitation that says, join this meeting, and you're going to click on that. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to a different room, a virtual room. And when you're finished with that meeting, you're going to click back over to us. Don't leave because I have some parting remarks. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Click on over. You should have that by now. All right. And so I am moving through my docket as well. I need to start with Diego Caballero. Or did I say that correctly, Mr. Caballero? You'll have to unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people say Caballero, so how do you like to say it?
Caballero's fine.
Perfect. So I did see your teen court request for your no driver's license charge. This is dated from June 25th, and you pled guilty. That is your plea today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the next thing is that, yes, I will grant teen court. There's a $20 teen court fee. But before we get to that, let me ask you actually a preliminary question. Where are you in the process, if you are, of getting a driver's license?
I had already got my certificate to get my permit,
Okay.
and the problem with that was I had to get my passport renewed, so I had to wait to get my passport and then be able to get my permit.
Okay. And now have you gotten your permit?
No, I'm still in the process of getting it.
When are you getting your passport renewed?
It says to be coming in October.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll look at teen court because I only have 60 days with teen court. I mean, yeah, I only have a 6-day window and delaying you 2 months.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. On June 25th, are you aware that it's illegal for you to drive now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know, it seems silly that I would ask that, obviously, right? But let me just talk to you for a minute before we jump into teen court. One of the things that's really important, why I highlight it, is because, Mr. Caballero, what can happen then is if you have an accident, if your insurance covers it, that's great, that one accident. But they're going to take your rates up really high and kick you off your family's insurance when you turn 17 and force you to get your own separate insurance, which is highly expensive. Okay. Yeah. And that's if they cover it. If they deny the coverage, you're stuck paying for damages that you do out of pocket, and you won't get a driver's license until you do. Also, if you get such a conviction for no license and causing an accident, you probably will not get a license until you're 18, if then. So you really need to make sure that you're not running yourself afoul, okay? Because it can really be a problem for you. I will allow teen court, but you had to have my lecture first. And what I'm going to say is, can you pay the $20 in cash at the court today?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you're going to have to get someone to bring you over until you can get that problem resolved. I'm going to require, what classes have you done to get your license? You've done all the classes?
I was doing the educational course online.
Yeah.
And then I had gotten it printed, and I had my schedule to go to the DMV to go, but then they told me I can't get it because I didn't have my passport.
Yeah, you had to have that ID.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's not till October. So we're gonna also order a driver safety class that you're gonna take, and that will be what you do for teen court. And it's going to be due by September 9th. September 7th. And when you come to pay your fee today, we'll have a list of providers where you can get the class done. It's online is available, and you'll pick from a variety of them and get it turned in. And that'll be your teen court, the $20 fee in your class. And then I will dismiss, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You'll save the money and you'll be just a little bit better off down the road when you're driving lawfully. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when will y'all head over this way? Can you head over after court?
Yeah.
Okay. I made a note for the clerk and they'll have all your paperwork at the front desk. And that way you can get in and out of here in less than 10 minutes. We do ask that you mask when you come in the building, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Any questions, Dad?
No.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Head on over to the court.
All right. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Bye-bye. You know, if there's any underage people, other than them, I didn't see any. And so now I'm moving to Mr. Robert Browder or Broder. And Mr. Browder, you can tell me the best way to say it if you would. If you'll unmute while I get your file pulled. Good morning.
Good morning.
So your driver safety class was, the last due date we had was June 28th. That was the final turn and I had given an extension, which is unusual.
Yes,
I rarely do that.
Well, yes, ma'am, pardon me, yes, ma'am, and I tried to get in and do that, but it was asking for the license plate number for the truck, and it wasn't on the ticket, and I had already sold the truck, so I no longer had access to the license plate.
I understand. I have now that you're interested in a payment plan, and
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
wondering, are you still with Alamo Structure Steel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you the only income to the home?
Right now, yes, ma'am, I am. My wife had previously relost her job. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I did get your notes, and I'm sorry to hear that.
No problem, ma'am.
I'm sure y'all will. Well, it's just a hard time for everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Would like to get this resolved.
Yes, of course. Okay. And then,
I'm not one normally to get tickets.
yes, hey, I have a question. Are there any children in the home?
No, ma'am. All of my children are grown.
Okay. And then on the 275 you put for your insurance, is that taken out of your paycheck? Or is that like a payment that you're making to pay a bill?
The 275.
Yes, sir.
I'm not. My wife filled all this out because I'm not reviewing paperwork, so I'm not sure if that was car insurance or if that's the health insurance.
Okay. Is it removed from your paycheck? Did they
Not
take
the
that out?
auto insurance.
No, I know your medical insurance. Do they take it out of your paycheck?
Yes, out of my wife. Yes, when she was working. Yes, but now she's not working, so we have no insurance.
Okay. Give me a moment. I'm
Yes,
looking
ma'am.
at your finances to see what we might
Yes, ma'am.
do.
That may and yes, ma'am. And that 275 may have been our prescriptions.
Okay. Okay. That's probably what that is.
Yes, ma'am. We both take several.
That's not uncommon.
No, ma'am. The older we get.
I hear you. So, what is going on? I have one of these calculators that operates off light, and sometimes I wonder, if it makes any sense whatsoever. Let me use the phone one.
Okay.
It might help. Okay, so what I'm showing actually is that what we need to do is order community service, Mr. Browder. And just for the remaining amount. And it's actually not that many hours. It would be 7 hours for the remaining.
Okay. Is that available on Sundays, ma'am?
Yeah, what I do is actually give you a list of places and it's all through the week, different opportunities. And then you
Yes, ma'am.
mold it to your situation, because if I had to do that for everyone, it's me meddling in your affairs for one thing. And
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
the other thing is it would just be an unruly mess. So I will go ahead and grant that 7 hours of community service to complete. I'm feeling like, you could have done that class. If you wanted a deferred, if you're requesting a deferred, we could put it into a deferred for the remainder. And we haven't entered a conviction yet, have we? No way, maybe we have. We haven't? You could do a deferred if
contest.
you wanted to do it.
Okay, can I do a deferred?
Yeah, I'll grant it. Yeah.
Okay, and what is that gonna be, ma'am?
Your order will just say that your remaining hours need to be done, and they need to be done by September 7th. And if you get them turned in completed and don't get any more tickets during the deferral period, which will be until December 7th,
December 7th, yes, ma'am.
then I will dismiss your citation.
Okay,
You're gonna need to come up here and sign the documents. Can you do that this morning?
yes, ma'am, I can do that today. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll look for you this morning, okay?
Yes,
And there'll
ma'am.
just be a list of places for you to choose from, and I'll give you a timesheet to keep track of your hours.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you just get those turned in on time. I zero out your balance, stay on good behavior, ticket gets dismissed, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And this is at the same place I came the other day on 4th Street?
We have not moved. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Come on up. Ms. Warren, I see that you've had a chance to visit with Mr. McDonald. I believe I have that right. And so if you could let me know where things stand at this time.
Mr. McDonald has changed his plea to no contest. He can make the full $296 payment on August 17th. It will be a 120-day deferral, no class.
No class?
No class.
Okay. Okay. Situation. All right, Mr. McDonald, I can email that document to you in your case. And if you can print it, sign it, and get it back to us today with your signature, you wouldn't have to come to the building. The other option is to drive on over to do it, which will work best for you.
I can drive there in person.
Okay, we'll have it at the front desk for you. Okay,
All right. When I show up, do I just tell them who I am and let them know what I'm there for?
that's correct. They'll have the documents at the front.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You can head on over as soon as possible. Okay? Thank you. And then Ms. Warren, let me advance you forward. Catherine Miller is your next person. Ms. Miller, if you will, just accept the invitation. I've got to find it. Let's see. There we go. And you'll come back into this room when the case is, when you visited with Ms. Warren.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And then I too am advancing forward. Michael Cook. Morning, Mr. Cook. How are you today, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'd love to get you on screen. There you go. Hi. I know you were on screen earlier. Let's see. So just looking through everything quickly, and you've pled guilty on the 3 charges. I'll go back over that in a moment. You understood your pleading options, right?
Yes,
Guilty or not?
ma'am.
Okay. And on the speeding charge, the insurance charge, and the violation of the restriction charge, you were pleading guilty. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you've asked for community service. That's a need-based situation. Let me just do a quick look. I guess your job right now is not full-time?
Yes, it's at Dead Fish Grill.
Yes, I
Uh,
got that. It doesn't appear to be full-time.
um, on my I was trying to get the license one fixed
Yes, that's a question I had.
because I got my driver's license now. He said that at the time I had a permit, and so now I have my driver's license. I'm waiting on that to come in the mail.
Do you have a paper one?
Yes, ma'am. I have it right here. She made it a copy of it yesterday when I came up there.
Okay, I'll get to that in just a moment. Look and see. Just give me 1 second. Look and see if we have the paper copy and if he's on time. Because if so, then I can dismiss that. That's a compliance document issue. So we're going to check and see if we can get you there. And
Okay.
then let me check your financial situation. And were you insured on this day that you were stopped?
No, ma'am. I explained to him I had took my full coverage off and I was in the process of getting my liability to save me some money. And my car is wrecked in the back. So it's kind of it's been hard for me to find insurance with it being wrecked. And now I'm in the process of trying to get that fixed. I couldn't just put that all on paper, but I'm in the process of trying to get that fixed as well.
Okay. He's on time? Okay, we can dismiss. What, is there a fee? The B restriction? Okay, Mr. Cook, I can dismiss the B restriction charge,
Yes, ma'am.
and I'll sign that right now and do that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And then on the other charge, the other 2, I'm showing that you qualify for me to order community service.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
And that turns into 27 hours.
Okay.
And you can do that at any nonprofit in the state of Texas, as long as it's a nonprofit, okay?
Yes,
Then-
ma'am.
Then it will work. It can't be like that you're being supervised just by someone you know. They need to be authorized by that entity to do it. And then, we'll give you a timesheet to fill out and they sign off on it too. And we verify those hours, okay?
Okay.
Now, a quick question for you. Can you come by to sign things, or would you have a way to print them and sign them and email them back to us?
Yes, ma'am. I can come today.
Okay, then we're gonna have all your paperwork at the front desk. The clerks can then just sit down and look at it, review it, and then when you're comfortable with it, you'll be good to go, okay?
Okay.
We'll have a copy of that dismissal up there for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right.
You have a
You are
blessed
good.
day.
Thank you, sir. You're good to go for the purposes of this.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay. My next person is Jonathan Waite.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Give me a moment. I'm going to pull your file up. Won't take me long.
Take your time.
A lot of W's today. Okay, so let's see. These are older cases, and I did get your plea on each one, except for there was one without a plea. It's called failing to appear. It means that you didn't come to court on time per the date on your original ticket. And just one second. Nope, you're right. I pulled the wrong file.
I was gonna say, wow, I've never showed up to court.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
My apologies. The WAI, I grabbed WAT. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's a speeding charge with fines and costs of $254, and I did get your plea of guilty. Is that your plea today?
I was gonna plead deferred, but I don't have a Texas driver's license, so they said I couldn't take the class. So my only option was to pay.
Okay, a deferred you can do.
I'd love to do that, Your Honor. I
driver's
would love to have this
safety-
on my record.
The driver's safety you can't do because you
Okay.
don't have a Texas license. You don't have a CDL though, right?
No, ma'am.
If I skip that and do it wrong, they will kick it back from the state. So people go, why do you ask? And I'm like, because it doesn't hurt. Okay. So yes, I can grant a deferred. In your case, I would grant community service.
Awesome.
You are in Temple. I have a list of places that are this area.
Okay.
It's easiest if you come sign your documents and pick up your paperwork.
That's what I'll do.
It's a pretty hefty packet when we're talking community service.
Okay.
Deferred is granted, and
Thank you.
community service for your balance, and that turns into 13 hours. And I give you 60 days
Thank you.
to get that amount turned in. And I will have your documents at the front desk in probably the next 10 or 15 minutes.
All right. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for your time this morning, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. You can head on over, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Boy, I don't have that many tough notes today, or not so far. You're going to correct me if I get it wrong. Yvette or Ivette Romero. If you'll get to the screen, that'll help, and unmute. If you're able to do video, it is really helpful if we look at one another. That's just a lot of life. But if you can, if not, just unmute and we can do that too. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, you bet.
Thank you very much, Ms. Romero. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm okay. Let's see. Telegram. So, yeah. Are you the only income right now to your home?
Yes.
Okay. Any children in the home?
No.
Okay. I'm showing that I can order community service for your balance of $346. And that turns into 17 hours. And it would be best if you can come pick up your paperwork, although we can email them to you if you get that.
No, I can go ahead and pick them up. They do have places where, because I have medical problems.
Right. So here's what happens. If you get on that list and you review it and then you call and you see that you're not going to be able to do it because of the medical thing, then what you do is you talk to your doctor about it, and your doctor will tell you by giving me a note this person cannot do community service due to medical. I mean,
Oh,
it has,
perfect.
it can be that simple.
All
And
right,
then you bring that in on your due date or before, which is October 5th. And I can look and see if I'm able to do a waiver. Okay,
All right, I have an appointment this afternoon. Anyway, so.
perfect. What would be great is if you would come here first and get your paperwork.
Yes.
And that way you can take that paperwork and your doctor can look and see what's available and say,
All right.
okay, because I'm no medical doctor. I just will take the guidance of your medical doctor.
All right.
All right. Come on by the court on your way to your appointment. Okay.
Thank you very much. You have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Romero. Ms. Warren, I see that you're back after having had conversation with Ms. Miller. And if I could get an update, that would be great.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Miller did change her plea to no contest. I am dismissing the ran the stop sign. She will take a defensive driving course on the speeding.
Okay. And Ms. Miller, can you pay your court costs today, which are $144?
Yes, ma'am.
You have not been to a course for the purposes of a ticket dismissal for court in the last 12 months?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
In the last 12 months, have you taken a course for ticket dismissal?
No, ma'am.
And you have a regular Class C license?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Warren, are you sending that dismissal over?
Yes, I will.
Okay. And so Ms. Miller, you're coming by the court to get signed up for driver safety course option on the remaining amount charge?
Yes.
And we're doing that today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Bring license and insurance and the 144 to any clerk, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You're good to go. Sign a quick document. Ms. Warren, your next person is, I'm going to say this wrong, but I hope not, Shalia Jones. So, Ms. Jones, let me get that invitation over to you to join Ms. Warren in the breakout room. Here we go. There you go, ma'am. Thank you. And then I am moving forward with Grant Schilling. And if you'll unmute Mr. Schilling while I get your case pulled or your file pulled. Thank you. You have two charges and they have to do with environmental cases. Where are you, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I do. The situation is this: is that
Let me pause you for. I'm going to pause you for just a moment.
okay?
What I have is a not guilty plea, but the case had gone to warrant, and so it required that I approve moving it to the docket for not guilty. There's a second charge, and it's already scheduled for a jury trial in September.
Yes,
And,
ma'am. In fact, that one happened first.
Yeah, I do. I know that.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I know. The reason I'm mentioning it, we're already scheduled on that, is that we want to try to pull those into a similar lockstep if we can, just for efficiency. I can, do we have your correct address? Did we get return mail? Are you getting mail from us?
Yes, ma'am. But as I said before, I had no idea that I could be charged with this again, and I didn't receive any kind of summons or anything of that nature. So
We sent it though. That's why I'm asking. What's your?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. No,
Are
I
you
never
on Devon
received it.
Drive?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So one thing to answer your question, if the I don't know the details and I'm not supposed to know the details, okay?
Okay.
At this point, because I'm supposed to stay fair and neutral. And that's why you're finding me being a little disruptive of you because you've pled not guilty and I don't want you to air those facts right now. It's improper for me to do. It's
Okay.
an
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
ethics issue. And you're going to find one thing I'm a real stickler about, and that's those ethics issues. I teach it to the other judges in the state, so I know it backward and forward. What I want to tell you, though, is just to get to that question, and I understand the confusion. When you said I had no idea I could get charged with this again, if the city official in question believes in good faith that there's a violation and they are willing to sign the documents that they sign, they can charge you every single day. Okay. So just be aware, they don't usually do that, but they usually have more than just you that they're working on. So I don't see them usually doing that, but that is, yes, you can get charged again. The first one was November 25th of 2020, and then this one was May 10th of 2021. So that's not an unusual span for them at all. What I need to do is move you to the pretrial docket, and I have available August 17th. Sorry, is that a final pretrial date? August 17th? No. Okay. And then I have a final date for my problem there. I guess we can't fit him in because he's got a jury trial on his other case. That's okay. So we'll do your Zoom meeting pretrial on August 17th and your final pretrial, if it comes to that, for October 20th. Have we already?
Would there be any way that I could talk to the prosecutor again? Because
Yes.
there have been things that have transpired since.
That's why we scheduled that pretrial. That's what that is. That's a meeting with her August 17th.
Okay. The only other problem that I have is that on August 17th, we will be returning from a vacation.
Okay.
Would there be any way that we could do it the next week?
Let me see if it's available.
Yes, ma'am.
The week after that. Which day? Okay, August 19th.
Okay.
Okay. And so I can email these documents, setting forms to you, to the email that we use to send you this meeting to.
Okay.
Can you accept it there and sign it and get it back to us?
Can I just come up to the courthouse and sign it there?
Absolutely.
Okay, I will be on my way.
Okay. That will be a quick exchange, I promise. Thank you. We'll see
Thank you so much.
Okay. I'll recall your warrants.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much.
Double check your address at the front when you're here. Just do me that favor, and you're welcome. And so let's just make sure we have an open line of communication because there is a duty to keep up with it. And part of that is just keeping that address current. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Schilling.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ms. Watkins.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you, ma'am?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. So let me get paperwork pulled up. I do have pleas of guilty on all three charges. There was an invalid license allegation October 19th of 2017 and a speeding charge. A speeding charge. And then just that single charge of not coming to court. And I have a guilty on the speeding and a plea of guilty on the license charge, and then a blank on the failing to come to court. And that one gets filed one time when you don't turn up on the date at the bottom of your ticket. And
Yes, I meant to put guilty.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm because I don't do that for you. That's for sure. I need to hear that plea. So, okay. and now we're moving forward. And in looking, it looks like you would not have the ability to make payment. And I agree with you, and I would order community service. Does that line up with what you think you can do here?
Yes, ma'am, because I'm right now staying with my mom. I was working in it was like a temporary position from home, but it ended July 3rd. So
Okay.
I'm waiting to see if I can get another position there.
Right. So you're looking for work.
Yes, I am. I had an interview with the same people, but due to I guess the COVID coming back up, they had put it on pause for the company I was working for.
Okay. I'm going to order community service. And you're right, the COVID, it's complicating things for folks, for all of us. So looking, what we'll do is 67 hours. That's giving triple credit up front, but there was a pretty big balance. And then October 5th is the due date.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
if you wind up needing more time or you're not finished with everything turned in by that date, you'll need to apply for an extension.
Okay.
Bring me what you have, turn it in, and I'll give you an extension. Okay?
Okay.
Otherwise, just turn it in. I do need your signature this morning. I see that you might be in Waco. We can email everything to you. Print it. There's one signature I need back. If you print it, sign it. You can email it back or you can photo email it back. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Will that work?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I need it this morning.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
Okay, Ms. Watkins. Do you have any questions?
Oh yeah, about the community service. So since I am in Waco, the list that you send,
it's not
when I
let me just stop you for a minute.
Okay.
It's not going to be Waco. Now, if it's something on my list and it's in Waco, that's automatic. If it's not on my list, I'll still approve it. And my instructions will say this, that we send you. I write this down for you. Any nonprofit in Texas is fine. So churches, nursing homes, library, any city service, any nonprofit. Caritas is a big one up there, I know. There's a bunch of different ones. And
yes, ma'am.
I've had lots of people do it in Waco. You don't need to drive down to Bell County to do community service. That's
okay. Thank you
that
so
would mean
much.
that you're paying for gas. That doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Because my uncle is a pastor, so I just was going to do it at his church.
Okay. Well, he can do that as long as he's authorized to sign for his entity.
Okay.
But, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Likely is the authorization, because that's one of those things that Yolanda will call and flag it. But she disclosed that. I don't think that's a problem as long as it's valid. Okay, let me see. I was just making sure Ms. Warren wasn't back in. We are moving to Stephanie Alvarez. Ms. Alvarez, good morning.
Good morning.
I do have, let's see, please on your cases. And then
I'm sorry, I cut out.
yeah, give me a moment to look at your forms.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Do you have a second job?
Do I have a second job?
Yeah, I have that you work at Bird's Barber Shop, and you're paid every 2 weeks. And then under spouse, you left the employer blank and put $2,000 a month.
So my spouse and I are no longer together. We haven't been together since 2019.
Okay, but you listed it.
But we are still technically married. So I didn't know what to put.
Gotcha. I understand.
Because COVID.
Yeah, I understand. I know what I need to do. It doesn't count towards your ability to pay.
Okay.
And that would have given confusion at the front. Okay, I'm back to using. I've got to use the phone. Okay. I'm actually able to make an order for payment. What day of the week are you paid? When you're paid every other week, what day is it?
What day? It's on a Friday.
Okay, this Friday or next Friday?
It'll be this Friday.
Okay, so that's going to be 6th. So we'll do $25 every 2 weeks.
So this is the thing, like why I'm back in court is because I failed to make those payments because originally I was in court and I had explained that it's pretty impossible for me to pay right now.
I don't see that.
$25 doesn't seem like a lot.
I don't see that.
I just went.
Sorry.
I was just in court in Temple a week ago.
Right.
And I filled out a whole new form of inability to pay. And so, I mean, $25 doesn't seem like a lot for anybody, but for me, I'm kind of struggling right now. I had been out of work for 3 weeks due to lack of childcare. I don't get child support, and I have my children full time. So it's been a little rocky. I've also out of my home for the last 3 weeks as well. So I'm trying to play catch up right now until my children go to school on August 16th. And that's when I'll be able to have a regular work schedule.
Okay. We can hit it.
And
are you going to stay
okay,
at Burger? Listen, it doesn't
yes.
work if you keep talking. I think I got.
Sorry.
I'm not able to declare you unable to pay, and if I did, then I'd have to send you to community service. You're not qualified for that, and you'd need childcare for that anyway. You're not legally unable to pay. I can't make that declaration. What I can do is hit a delay, right? So we would start September 3rd. That's
okay.
1, 2, 3 pay days away. Okay. And we'll drop it to $20 every 2 weeks.
For one of the tickets, I was able to get my driver's license. Is there a way to?
Is she on time?
I'm sorry.
Just one moment. Let me talk to a staff member about what options we might have. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We're in a payment plan on that. We're not able to do a dismissal. That's something that you do like the first time you come into court. We've already adjudicated that case.
Right. I mean, COVID pushed my dates back, and
I understand that, and I work with that a lot, but I can't reverse a judgment and do a different judgment now. What I can do is
Okay.
what I'm telling you, which is $20 every 2 weeks, beginning September 3rd.
okay.
I'm going to email that payment plan to you. I need a signature on it today.
Okay.
We use the email that we have on file.
Okay. The stuff, I think that's what it's under.
Let me look. Your email that you used, that we sent this meeting to. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Steph Simmons.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll send it there. Thank you. Marla Whitfield or Whitefield. If you'll unmute, I'll get your case pulled up.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for asking. I'm good. I'm going to pause you for a moment.
Okay.
You and I have a lot to talk about, and I want to keep Ms. Warren moving. Ms. Warren, can we check in on Shalia or Shalia?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Jones is headed to trial.
Okay. Ms. Jones, we have a pretrial final October 6th at 3 o'clock. We'll see you in the courtroom that day, okay? Thank you, ma'am.
Does it not allow me to say anything to you based on what happened that day? Because I was assisting an autistic child.
Yeah,
There was nothing else I could do, and I wasn't there. By the time your officer pulled up, I found my child's phone. I got cut off short. There was two cars racing. One whip came up behind me real close, and he flew in front of me, and he was so close to the front end of my Camry that I had to jam my brakes. When I jammed my brakes, I put my car in park, pulled over because my daughter, who's been autistic since birth, I had to get out of the car and help her find her phone because it flipped out of she's 22, but I show her how to put her phone to be safe. If she don't have her phone, that's a problem. I got out of my car with a flashlight. I went under my seat, found her phone. By the time your officer pulled up, Judge, I had already found her phone. The car was in drive. I put the car in park.
The thing is, Ms. Jones.
That's all I'm hurt for, because none of the officers understood that they were flashing lights. It was just terrible. And they didn't understand. I don't need anger management. I was hurt for my child. That they didn't understand that I was just helping my child. And I was not there that long, because by the time he pulled up, I was getting ready to pull off. That's how long I was there, short. It wasn't like I was just sitting there waiting for cars to speed. He came up after those two cars.
Miss Jones.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm down. I'm bringing it down. I don't really want to go to trial. I just want somebody to understand I can't afford all this.
You need to stop for a minute or I'm going to have to mute you. And I really don't want to have to do that.
It's just terrible.
So what I need to tell you, I'm going to give you just a breather, okay? Because you're upset. And this is a court. And so I have to follow the law and walk this through a certain way. And so what I'm going to tell you is that there will eventually be an opportunity for you to tell your story. And that is why we have trials, okay? And so I will see you October 6th at 3, and you already have that paperwork. Just wanted to remind you of that paperwork. And we don't air it just with the judge and have a trial separate outside of a trial setting. So I'm going to let you go. I'll see you in October, okay? There will be absolutely an opportunity for you to be heard. It's just that when we do it in a way that violates my ethics rules, I have to prevent it, okay? But I will let you have that forum at the appropriate time. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to let you go now. Yes, ma'am. And I hope that when we're here in court, we can just keep it where people can actually hear you and understand you.
It's on mute. I didn't put it on mute.
I
It
muted
for
you
some
on
reason went on
purpose.
mute, but I
I
understand
muted
why.
you on
Because I'm
purpose.
emotional. But
Yeah, I don't mind that you're emotional. It's just that if you keep talking when I'm trying to talk to you, we cancel each other out and then you don't hear me and I don't hear you. And I heard you for quite a while there. So we're going to have the opportunity to have that story told at the right time, which is what trials are for. And we'll see you October 6th at 3. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Warren, I'm going to move you forward to Miguel Arciniega. Okay. Okay, Ms. Whitefield, back to you, ma'am. Sorry about delaying you. If you'll unmute, that will help us both. And what I have is just a series of cases, and I'm just re-reviewing everything you submitted and noting what you've told me so far. These are older cases from 2015 and 2017, and we can get them back on track, I can tell you that. Okay, and so I have no contest pleas on all 4 cases, and I'm showing that what would be best is to order community service and give you plenty of time to do it. And then I can work with you on that time as well. No contest is your plea on all 4 cases?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then community service, that just turns into a rolling situation until we get it solved. And so it can take as long or as short as you'd like, as you can find those opportunities. And I recognize right now isn't the best time. And as such, I'm going to give you extra, I'm going to do the credit differently because we're over kind of a certain mark. So give me just a moment. Okay. Make a note that I used 30 instead of 20 because she lives with her mother and I think cares for her. So I've given you triple credit up front, and it turns into 58 hours due. Right now, my first due date I'm going to start with, we're going to target October 5th for that date. Again, if you need more time, you'll be able to turn in what you've got, apply for more time, and I always give it as long as we're moving along. Okay?
Yes.
And I'll recall your warrants today immediately.
Thank you.
And we'll get that set up. We need your signature on one document, and I'm wondering if you can come by and just sign, or if it would be better for you if we email it to you.
I can come down and sign.
Okay. We'll have everything at the front desk for you. It'll be a packet, and it'll include timesheets, directions for how to do it, a list of places that I know are already approved and don't mind lots of people calling. But it also will tell you any nonprofit is acceptable. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Do you have any questions? Do you use Whitfield or Whitefield?
Whitfield.
I thought so. I have friends with that name, but I wasn't sure. I always ask because the moment I make an assumption, I'm always wrong. So thank you for letting me know. And do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Whitfield.
Thank you. You have a good day. Bye-bye.
And Ms. White, You'll unmute. We'll get to your case. Ms. White? Micah?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't hear you at first.
That's okay. Are you in high school?
No, ma'am. I just graduated this past spring.
Okay. So you're asking for a driver safety course. You have a red light charge. Your fines and costs, though, you went to warrant. So you missed your court date. And when you miss your court date, you can't do the driver safety course option. State law doesn't allow
Okay.
it. However, have you had any tickets in the last, how many tickets have you had?
I couldn't really hear you, but no, I haven't had any tickets. This was my first one.
For not hearing me, you certainly did a good job answering my question. If I do a deferred disposition, we're looking at doing payment.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the only person paying rent at your place?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Give me just a moment here. Do you get food stamps or other assistance?
No, ma'am. Not at the current time.
You requested $45 or $40 a month. I can do 25 and you can pay more. If it works to pay more, you'll just get done faster.
Okay, 25 works. A month. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, what day of the month?
Any day will work for me, honestly.
Okay. Can we do it today and then it would just be every month on the 3rd?
Yes, ma'am. That sounds good.
Okay. Are you going to swing by the court and make a payment and sign off on the paperwork?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm also going to do some need-based reductions and we'll have that total when you get here. It'll go down just a bit. Okay.
Okay. And I have a question as far as my warrant. Like, do I have a warrant as soon as I pay? How does that work?
No, as soon as you make that payment, your warrant goes away.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ms. Finley, how are you this morning? I'm sorry, let me ask you to unmute. Excuse me.
Thank you. I said I'm doing well, and yourself?
Thank you for asking. I'm well. This is a possession or use of fireworks in the city, and it's from July 4th. Okay, you've pled no contest to it. You've requested community service, which I think will work. Oh, I'm not sure. Let me double check. Who's working at Custom Building Products?
My husband.
Okay. I always run into a little of an ethical conundrum when I get a plea like this. You've pled no contest, which is appropriate given what you tell me, but there's two things happening in what you've told me. One is that you say in what you tell me you're not guilty, and the other is that you felt like you were targeted. And I tend to want to move that to the prosecutor's desk because she has an investigative authority that as judge would be inappropriate for me. And I feel like when someone says, go ahead and sentence me, I'm not guilty, and I feel bad about this because I think it was wrong, that I think it ought to get looked at maybe. Now, she may disagree and she may agree. I do not commit this prosecutor to a position because she is an independent person and does not answer to me as the judge, other than in the legal way of the law, the way the law works. She and I have agreed to the same set of rules. But she's an independent person. I don't know what she would do, and she may look and go either direction. I really couldn't say. Um, we can pause and take that step, and I can always come back to your plea at that point.
Okay.
It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen sometimes that people raise concerns that should maybe just be given a looked at moment before we move forward.
Okay.
Is that your request at this time?
Yes, ma'am, that'll be fine.
Okay.
I just don't really know which way to go, and
Right.
I don't know which way to go.
And so I'm just going to make a note that we're going to have it reviewed at a
Thank you.
pretrial. Okay. And I'm going to schedule that for August 17th.
Okay.
Actually, give me the next one. Okay, the 19th. I want to give it 2 weeks and a few days. So we're going to send that for you to sign to your email unless you want to come by and look at it.
I can come by.
Okay, we'll have that at the front desk for you. And it'll
Okay.
have a final date on it for October 20th. That could change, okay? We could, depending on what y'all discuss.
Okay.
Okay. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you.
You have a blessed one.
Okay, ma'am. Ms. Warren, I see that you have had a discussion with Mr. Arciniega. Can I get a status update? I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
He changed his plea to no contest, and I dismissed one of the cases.
Okay. Which one?
Also, there is a warrant, I believe, in this case.
In
So
both.
I did offer a reduction in the fine from the 2,000 to 1,000. But I did advise Mr. Arnega that the cost would remain the $7.70 and 30 cents. He did express that he has issues with paying that amount, or his financial ability to pay that amount is limited.
Okay, I will work on that with him. It shows then to me that you're dismissing the case ending in 6034. And
Yes.
the other one is for sentencing.
That is correct.
Okay. Are you sending that or are we generating that here?
I will send that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I will move you to, I think, Octavio Lopez is your last person.
Okay.
And I believe. And yeah. So Mr. Lopez, you'll receive that breakout room request right now. And Mr. Arciniega, let me go ahead and look at the financial information that you have provided. Give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Calculator. Yeah, it's just, I've already had so many, I've had it a really long time. I don't mind using my phone. It's not actually sufficient. Okay. You're with the Army, so you're paid the 1st and 15th, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what can you pay today?
So today I really can't pay anything. So my current situation right now is that I currently got flagged, meaning that I got flagged because I'm a little overweight. So that prevents me from getting promoted or going to any schools in the military until I lose the weight I need to lose. So I'm currently waiting on getting promoted to a E4 specialist. So right now, the situation I'm in right now is that I really don't make that much, meaning my wife has to work as well to basically pay off what we have to pay off. So I'm kind of, in a low crunch right now, trying to get myself back on my shoes with all that going on.
I can order $50 a month.
Say again, ma'am?
I can order $50 a month beginning on the 15th.
That sounds good, ma'am. I could work with that.
Okay, if you want to get out from under it faster, you just pay it sooner. I will do the reduction. I'll accept the dismissal of the one charge, and then I will order $50 a month beginning August 15th. I do need your signature on that today. I can email it to you. If you can print it and sign it and get it back to us today, you won't have to make the trip over.
I'll make the trip over. That's fine.
Okay, that's fine. We'll see you.
Also, ma'am, what would the full debt have to be that I have to pay? How much is it that I have to pay?
What's our total? Yeah, she said $1,000. We'll have to get that to you when you get here because we need to get the dismissal from her, which we'll get shortly, and then do that reduction.
So just get a dismissal from her, and would I still have to worry about the warrant?
Two cases. No, the warrant goes away today as long as I get your signature.
I'm sorry, ma'am, you're cutting off.
The warrant? Yeah, because you're talking. The warrant goes away today, but I need your signature to do that.
Got it, ma'am. I'll be there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Corona, Erica, I'll need you to unmute. You're on the phone. Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Corona.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's see. I have a registration charge, and I don't have a copy of it, but it says that that you brought the proof in, but we don't have that.
Yes,
proof.
ma'am, I did.
We
She
don't
took
have
a copy of it.
Ma'am, I've been through your file. It's not in there. I need it to do a dismissal.
Well, I have it right here in front of me, and she took copies
That's
of.
wonderful. That's wonderful. But I need it. Can you get it to me?
Yes, ma'am.
You can either email it or you can bring it in. Which will we do?
I can bring it in.
Okay, great. And then I have accepted your plea on the other charge, and I'm ordering community service.
Community service.
Community service
Okay.
instead of payment.
Okay.
And it does come to 14 hours of community service,
Yes, ma'am.
and it will be due in 60 days.
Okay.
And if you need more time, you'll have to bring me your progress and come ask for an extension. Otherwise, we'll expect you to turn it in.
Yes, ma'am.
When you bring that in, I'll dismiss the other case. If it qualifies, I'll dismiss with that proof shown, and I won't charge you a dismissal fee.
Yes, ma'am. And how many hours? I'm sorry, I didn't. 16.
14 hours.
14.
We're going to actually give it all to you in writing when you get up here.
Okay.
Yeah, including a list of places, instructions, and a timesheet.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes.
I actually have 3 disabled babies. One of my little ones has epilepsy. I just gave him his medication. It would probably be within the next 2 hours, if that's okay.
That will be fine, Miss Corona.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, Ms. Warren, down to last but not least, Mr. Lopez.
Mr. Lopez has changed his plea to no contest, and he can pay both fines in full today.
Okay. Straight hits. Are these a straight hit?
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Lopez, you don't have to travel over, although you can. But you can also go online and make payment or call and make payment. Okay.
Okay, but I could just go there and pay it there, right?
Yes, sir. You sure can.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good luck to you.
Bye.
Ms. Warren, if you could stay for a moment. Let me just end the public meeting. It's not about court today so much.